Hey everyone, today we want to talk a little bit about this idea that you can monetize a free product in a lot of different ways, not just simply this free to pro versions or free and add-ons and things like that. Sometimes the free plugin itself can be monetized. And that might be a really, really smart way to go, considering all the ways in which AI is making our code a commodity nowadays. And I think this is going to be an excellent and interesting conversation for anybody who does product in WordPress. So stick around. This is WP Product Talk, a place where every week we bring you insights in product marketing, business management and growth, customer experience, product development, and more. It's your go-to podcast for WordPress product owners by WordPress product owners. And now, enjoy the show. Hey, everybody. I am Matt Cromwell from Roots and Fruit.
And I am Zack Katz from GravityKit.
And today we're talking about what I talked about in the hook. But first, we want to give some thanks. And we need a script.
I would like to thank Freemius because Freemius is our exclusive growth partner. And do you not know about Freemius? Well, you should, because Freemius helps software makers grow, monetize, and succeed. They're a merchant of record platform, which means they handle everything around selling software.
Oh, Zack, we lost you. Oh, no. This show's starting off great. Zack looks really excited about Freemius, which is awesome. Freemius has helped us to grow our subscribers way past the 10,000 mark. We're over 11,000 subscribers on YouTube right now. We also just passed 150 followers on LinkedIn, which is allowing us to actually go and stream on LinkedIn now as well. So really excited about that. Thank you again to Freemius. And hopefully we will be getting Zack back over here really sometime soon. But for now, I am going to introduce our guest today, and that is none other than Rémi Corson. Rémi, welcome.
Hey, Matt. Thanks. How are you?
Good. I feel a little weird without my co-host, but I think we'll make it work.
Yeah, for sure.
Rémi, tell the world a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, well, my name is Rémi Corson. I am French, so I live in France as well. I've been working in the WordPress ecosystem for a very long time, more than 15 years probably. I started at Easy Digital Downloads actually with Pepin Williamson. So I was the first guy doing the support at that time. So that was super exciting. Then I joined Woo Themes at the time. We were 24 people. When I left, we were like 2,000. So I've seen what scale does to a product, during those 11 years working at Woo and Automatic and the acquisition and everything like that. So yeah, and now I am the CTO at SEOPress, so most likely the best SEO plugin on the market. And I have a side project which is called Milo, and that's probably something we're going to talk about today.
Perfect. Absolutely. Folks, if you are here in YouTube or watching us on LinkedIn, we do have the comment section going live. This is a live show. It's not pre-recorded. Some folks have wondered if we pre-record these things. We don't. We fly fast and loose here, as Zack has proven to us multiple times, including today. Welcome back, Zack. I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. Yeah, I told before the show that I told host and guest that I was going to leave my terminal running so that Claude Code could keep doing its thing. Turns out it wanted to take over Chrome to do some tests. So sorry about that, y'all.
I think, Zack, you have a different microphone on right now.
I do. I need to fix that.
Let's get that other one, nice one on. Cool. Alrighty. So, subject is that we are talking specifically about monetizing your free plugin without a paywall or without the pro feature and things like that. Yes, I think Milo is the perfect example of that. We have one other person I'm going to show right now in the comments. Marcos here, good old colleague of mine, is saying he has a similar monetized plugin called Postgate, and his goal is to offer all the features without the need of a pro version, however, monetizing it using Stripe Connect instead. So we have folks in the comments who like this model as well. Rémi, tell us a little bit about Milo and how you're approaching monetization and why you decided to do it this way.
So Milo is a subscriptions plugin for WooCommerce, but it can also live without WooCommerce in the standalone mode. So basically, if you start a brand new website and you want to sell subscriptions with a very simple setup, you just install Milo subscriptions, you go into the standalone mode, and boom, you can sell subscriptions. That's completely free. Then you have the WooCommerce mode in that case. So it means that maybe you already have a website where you're selling subscriptions and you want to migrate. So we created some migrators systems so that you can migrate from pretty much all the main subscriptions plugin on the market, including the main one, which is WooCommerce subscription. So in one click, you move everything to Milo without losing any data. So Milo subscriptions, that's hard to say in English, entirely free. So we have a companion to that, which is called Milo Payments. And Milo Payments is a multi-gateways plugin. And we have specific partnerships with PayPal, with Stripe, with Molly and Square, and we are in the making with GoCardless and Braintree as well. So this is free as well, and all we take is a commission on every transaction. And that's exactly how WooPayments work. So we did that because we saw internally when we were at Automatic, that's what works the best, because everyone is pretty much in the best position. We don't have like customers, we have partners. You know, a person that is selling subscriptions is becoming our partner, is someone that someone who will help us improve the system, and we will do everything for them to succeed.
Love it.
So early in Shopify's history, I signed up for Shopify back in the day, and they had a flat commission structure, and they moved away from it. So I'd love to hear more about, if you know about that, how your approach is different than Shopify's. I'd love to hear more.
So I guess it's a bit different because here we are trying, first of all, to be competing against the main historical plugin for selling subscriptions with WooCommerce, which is WooCommerce subscriptions. So we have to be different. So we have to provide something different to the users. Is starting with the fact that we are entirely free. But also we provide a better project, a better ecosystem, because if you start with WooCommerce subscriptions, which is a very good plugin with more than maybe 12 years of existence, something like that. So it's a very good one, very strong, very solid, but it's a bit outdated as well. And the ecosystem is probably too small and too expensive as well. That's something we wanted to change by providing a free core, a free gateway system. And then if you want to go further, you can purchase extensions, add-ons, or you can get a bundle. And with a bundle, you get all the extensions for the same price, even if the catalog is growing, which is quite cool. So we have 40 plugins that connects to Milo. So that's huge. We cover pretty much everything. Maybe I will talk a bit about them later, or maybe not, I don't know. But basically, it's way different to what Shopify did. Because here, we provide something for free. We charge customers only if they earn money. So basically, we are not trying to sell licenses at all.
Yeah. So I want to clarify a couple things just for the folks. At GiveWP, we did a lot with revenue share, payment share, that kind of thing. So the things that you're saying are things I'll speak into quite a bit as well. But there's a big difference between something like Stripe Connect, like Marcos highlighted earlier, where you add like a 2% fee on top of the transactions. So if a customer comes to my website and they pay $100, then Stripe is going to take their 2% plus 2.9% plus 30 cents. And then you are going to also take another 2% on top of that. That's like, it ends up being over 4%. So I get like $96 instead of 97 something. That's the one way that some people monetize in, but you are saying that you're taking actually, you're not adding an additional percent on top of the payments. You're actually doing a revenue share agreement with the payment gateways. You take a portion from what they are already charging. Is that right?
This is not exactly the case. We are charging 1% on top of what Stripe is doing. That's pretty much the same thing as what Woo Payments does as well. That's the same agreement that we have.
Yep.
Because it's quite hard to deal with the big players, and we spent months, like literally months, to get a partnership with PayPal, for instance. That was like insane. So it's hard to get something more than that. And the thing is that there's no easy way to handle this case. You know, trying to ask Stripe to reduce the commission or to share the commission with us when you have like zero existence, the plugin doesn't exist yet, you have no user base, you can't ask the moon, you know. So that's where we had to make some, you know, compromises. But we have very good relationship with all the major banks and players. So we hope that in the future we will be able to maybe change that a bit. But honestly, like 1% is still very low in comparison to what you get for free, basically. But you can do even more. I mean, let's say you want to use Milo subscriptions, but you don't want to use Milo payments for any reason because you like Stripe, you have specific a partnership with Stripe or whatever, you can still do that. We have an extension called Any Gateway. So basically, by default, Milo subscriptions is gated to Milo payments because we need to make a revenue at some point. But if you want to use your own gateway, you install that little add-on, and that opens all payment gateways to Milo. So basically, you can now have Milo subscriptions and Stripe, like the official Stripe extension. And in that case, we don't get any transaction revenue, any commission at all. So that's a way for us to get new customers, people that would maybe not be our customer or our partners if they were not using Stripe. So we have a variety of ways to make Milo work for any scenario.
Yep. I like it. I definitely think that the subject of trying to find alternative ways to monetize a free product is really, really interesting. And especially the way in which it kind of creates a new moat around the product in different ways. And we actually had a really interesting conversation on X today. I'm going to bring it up. Rémi actually posted about the episode today, and we got some good comments. Marcin Dudek in particular was highlighting some things that he doesn't love about free products in general. He says you have to wait for the plugin to be reviewed. This is a new evolution on WordPress.org. You now wait 24 hours before your code goes live. You need to give away the source code when it's free, and you make it much easier for someone to just get the paid features with AI. Now, Remy and I both kind of went back and forth about some of these things. Remy, what was your first take with some of these comments about this model? Oh.
Yeah, so I knew that something like that was coming at some point, because I don't know, some people don't like free. I don't know why, but some will say I would like maybe leave money on the table, which is not the case. I'm not leaving money on the table. I'm leaving it in my customer's pocket actually, but they will spend it with me like later. It's like return on investment at some point. And basically, free is not a price, it's like a distribution strategy. That's what I said earlier. We are starting from scratch, so we need to have a strategy, and that is the strategy.
Yeah.
So one of the things that we've been talking about this as well at GravityKit, we have a paid-only plugin. It's always been paid-only. Gravity Forms has always been paid-only. And Gravity Forms, we build add-ons for Gravity Forms, and a lot of people build add-ons for WooCommerce. And WooCommerce owns the connection to the payment gateway, and unless you build a payment gateway, being the connector between a customer and them spending money is a great way to get money. But that's a very narrow, like that and membership sites. And there are very few where you can really gate the behavior of a plugin and like be directly connected to the site's success as a plugin builder, as a product owner, in a way that would facilitate going fully free and having like taking a cut of any money being transferred. Like how would you think about monetizing a free plugin if you weren't a payment gateway connector?
Wow, that's a good one. I have to admit, I don't have the answer right now, because the whole model of Milo is based on the fact that we have partnership with banks, because we are now like a payment gateway. But if we were not, that's a good question.
Right.
Yeah.
And historically there have been like affiliate programs, and you can make money through links and like Amazon affiliates and eBay affiliate. Like I started out as an affiliate marketer, and that's how I got into WordPress, is by offering free plugins, especially Gravity Forms add-ons. Gravity Forms has an affiliate program. That's how I got into this game, is I would make free plugins, and they were very powerful, but they integrated with people who offered affiliate programs. That seems to have gone away. Like the classifications of ways to make money on free plugins, I feel, is narrowed a bit. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's at the same time that we've been able to do more payment type things, that's really mostly the main way to do this type of monetization. I think you can get similar to that if you are more of like a SaaS platform. For example, if you were like MailChimp, for example, for so long they would say that you get this free tier of a certain amount of emails, email campaigns that you could send out. But as soon as you start sending a lot more, or how many contacts you have, then that's like an indicator of revenue in one way or another. Like, oh, now you have 50,000 contacts. You must be somebody who is making money with your email in one form or another. And so we're just going to charge you more for the ability to send more things through our service. So it's not directly connected to their ability to make money, but it's tied to the idea that they must be making money with my platform in one form or another. And I do like that model as well, especially when it comes to anything that that it's really crucial to the functionality of the website. You mentioned membership plugins. I mean, by and large, they're also accepting payments when people are paying for the membership to become members in the first place. But if it was more of like a SaaS membership, and there's plenty of SaaS membership products out there, they often will charge based on number of members that you have, with the assumption that you're probably making money with those members in one form or another. Even like Patreon and whatnot, there's different levels that you pay based on how big your following gets. Even Slack, like in some ways you're paying per seat that you have to offer. Like all these things are basically trying to tie payment to some sort of indicator of growth, or some sort of indicator that the business that's benefiting from the product is actually growing and has revenue in one form or another. So that's the only other, but that whole category, like you're mentioning, Zach, is a lot easier to do when you're a SaaS rather than a WordPress product. So.
Yeah, and WordPress.org doesn't allow you to say up to this amount of like custom post types with our plugin is free, but then beyond that you have to pay. They don't allow that whole gating by metered usage thing.
Yeah.
So you have to become a SaaS and make things way more complicated because of the nature of WordPress.org.
Yeah, yeah. There is also like security plugins is actually an interesting one where they will, like for example, what is now Cadence Security. So many of their security features are free, but if you want to benefit from their brute force network protection, you have to opt into that with an email address, and that's because that's functionality that exists outside of your website, and it's a whole list that that Cadence is responsible for at this stage. And then there are also, of course, ways in which people are paying for, like if your site gets hit in so many times from bots and things like that, you'll have to pay more, kind of the way Cloudflare or Vercel will charge based on visits and things like that as well. So the idea is there, but the ability to do that meaningfully with a WordPress product is harder. What's your take, Rémi?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and that's something we thought about maybe the beginning of the project when we were setting up the base of the business model, and we decided to go fully free because we knew that it worked at WooCommerce. So that's something we wanted to replicate. Also, we mentioned affiliation and memberships. Those are two things you can do with Milo, just to mention that. But yeah, when I started at WooThemes, the goal, like the real goal for everybody, was to help people make a living out of WooCommerce. That was the ultimate thing we wanted to do. And the more we grew, the more the goal changed, and it became like making money, but for the company, not for the users, which is way different. And well, that's because the business changed as well. But that's something we still feel deep in our soul at the moment with the Milo project, because the goal is to help people make a living, And if people make a living with Milo, we would make a living with the project as well. So it's a win-win thing, and that's something that is extremely extremely cool to do, because you know that you're there for something, and we feel like we are a team with the users. So this is super cool.
Yeah, 100%. And I just want to reiterate a little bit of what I was saying before. In general, I really like the whole approach and idea of trying to tie your pricing as close to the success of the business as you can. I think that principle in general is really a way forward at the moment. We've talked on this show, and there's been a lot of conversation online about the types of products out there right now that are a little bit at risk because of the rise of AI and things like that. And it tends to be the products that aren't close to the revenue of the customer website, or aren't close to how they generate revenue in general, or receive revenue. The idea that I've been promoting often with folks is, how can you take whatever problem that your plugin solves and just move it closer to the way in which the customers generate revenue, and make your product more sticky, essentially. I think that's the overall idea, because even with a product like Milo, I'm sure as soon as folks start using it regularly, they're doing subscriptions with it. And ideally, they're enjoying it, they like it, and they feel like they're making money with it. It suddenly gets really, really difficult to stop using Milo. It's one of those kinds of products that, like, the thought about trying to switch and go on to a different product that does subscriptions is just painful, and people don't want to do it. And that's honestly a really great business model, is trying to have a product that people just feel like they either don't want to get rid of or can't get rid of. Personally, that's my take.
Yeah, I agree. And there's something, so I've been doing support for WooCommerce subscriptions for years. So I knew all the pain points. So we fixed all of them. That was like one of our goals. We checked the feature requests as well. We did all of them, well, most of them. And we decided to provide a product that was easy to come to. Like, if you're using a website that is using any subscriptions plugin, you can migrate in like just one click. And you don't lose tokenizations of your gateways and stuff like that. Everything is kept. But also, if you don't like Milo, you can still move away from Milo. We don't want people to be stuck with us. Let's say you have a subscription website. You try Milo for 2 or 3 months, you don't like it, you click a button and you're back to WooCommerce subscriptions without losing any data. So that's something that is very important to us. We don't want to be taking our partners and customers as hostage. This is very important. We don't want that. We want Milo to be a very cool and very friendly ecosystem for everyone. If you like it, you keep it. You don't like it, it's fair. We will do better.
One of the things that I think one of the things you mentioned is data portability. And when you're trying to do a free plugin that does take a little slice of every transaction, that means you have to go really wide. And I think that data portability, when product owners are thinking about, like, oh, I want to release something that, like Milo, that takes a little slice of every transaction. Well, you've got to get users. You've got to make sure that your migration in is painless. Your migration out, if people change their mind, is painless. I just, when you're thinking about this as a strategy product owner, think about the migration and acquisition, and like that is the most important thing when you're making, micro transaction amounts per transaction.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. The idea is to try to attract. We don't have to prove that the subscriptions model business is working. It does work. So the idea was how to get a part of the cake, and because the system works, the business model works. So we need to attract the people that are not happy with their own setup at the moment to move to a better system. Or a different one. I'm not saying a better one, but a different one. And that's a good way.
It's a better system.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, the goal is really to have like a win-win relationship with everyone, with our like major partners, PayPal, Stripe, Molly, and Square, but also with the people using Milo. And there are a ton of different people who wants to have a way to sell subscriptions, and each website is different with specific needs and stuff. And we took the path to the React interface, which means that we are losing some cool stuff about WordPress, which is the hooks. So basically, you want to inject content into the UI. Well, it's easy to do in PHP. It's a bit more complex in React, especially if you have your own UI. But we built some hooks as well. So you can even connect with existing stuff. And you can even create your own add-ons for Milo, which brings me to something important as well is that for now we have 42 add-ons, I guess, which is a lot.
Yeah.
And we try to cover pretty much every aspect of the subscription model and even more. But in a couple of months, we are going to open the marketplace to other devs as well, so that anyone can, create their own extensions for Milo and take a revenue from that, which is another way for us to make some money, hopefully, but also to get some traction from new people building their own stuff and making money as well.
Nice.
Can you talk about the arrangement there how are your third-party developers going to make money when they integrate with Milo if Milo doesn't make money unless except for the payment
That's a good point. That's a good point. I should have mentioned that. So for now, we have two sources of revenue. We have the commission on the transaction, and we have the extra add-ons that are paid add-ons. Mm-hmm. So we have, for instance, we have advanced analytics, failed payment retry, we have memberships, gifting, coupons, stock management, Gravity forms, licenses, well, all you need. Those are paid plugins. So if you want to do more than just subscriptions, you can get either one add-on with a 1-year license, or you can get the bundle, and the bundle is very cheap compared to the price of all the extensions together. So that's where we make money at the moment. So using the licenses for the add-ons. In the long term, we hope that one day we will be able to provide all those add-ons for free as well, which is like moving completely to the commission section. And in that case, that will be even better for everyone. So that will be probably in the few years, because we need to have enough people to be using the system so that we can say, okay, we're getting rid of the licenses and you get everything for free.
Nice. I want to talk a little bit about what Zach alluded to earlier. The big difference in this type of model is that you have to go for volume of users. You have to be trying to get as many users as you possibly can. And there's other products out there, sometimes that are paid only, not free at all, but paid only. And they are, relatively high priced in the market, specifically because they want to be choosy about their customers. They don't want to get all of the free users who can sometimes be the loudest, noisiest, most frustrated, angry, offensive users. All of the above.
Tell us what you think about interacting with free users, Matt Cromwell.
I love them. They're amazing and the worst people at the same time. But that is the case. When you're going for volume, you're going to get the whole gamut of all the types of people in the world, including the worst kind. But I bring it up because I want to hear a little bit about your marketing strategy, because when you're going for volume, you've got to really push discoverability. You've really got to get your brand out there. What are you guys doing on the marketing front to drive more adoption of the product?
So before we talk about marketing, I want to highlight two things that you kind of touched. So you said basically some customers that you don't want as a customer. That reminds me of old time at Woo, when we decided to increase the prices by, I can't recall if that was 50% or 100%, but the goal was to get rid of some customers, basically. Because otherwise, some people are just spending way too much time doing support tickets and not spending enough, and that's not something that works. And also, so we are free on .org, which means that we will get some support on the forum as well. And the question is, how are we going to have enough resource to be able to answer to all those people in the future without making money, because most likely those people will be free users. So that's something we have worked on quite a bit. I'm not going too much into the details, but we have built a system that allows us to reply to the tickets quite easily with a pre-checked by AI, even on the .org forum. So basically, we are ready for that. We are ready to have that surge of users coming to Milo. So now the question about marketing, that's a very good one. And so it took about a bit more than a year and a half to build everything. So in terms of technical stuff, and it's only most likely 50%, even maybe 40% of the job. So now we are pushing our efforts to the marketing side of things, because the product is ready. It's I'm not saying it's mature, because it's still an early process and we are still looking for improvements. But in terms of marketing, we have a strategy, and we are going to expand now all our efforts to communication. I'm not going too much into the details, because otherwise I will, it's a surprise. When you tell the surprise, it's a surprise anymore. But yeah, we are pushing a lot of efforts into that, especially in terms of making things look very good, because the product is very good. So we have to provide now a better website, a better way of communicating, and various ways to promote ourselves.
I like it. I think that question in general of marketing and discoverability is something everybody is asking about, and everybody's concerned about, regardless of how much volume they have to go for. So I think it's hyper relevant for sure.
Yeah, if I can jump quickly to that. So now I'm working at SEOPress. So it means that I am having my two hands into SEO stuff, which means this is something we are working very hard on as well. Because with the bots, the ChatGPT stuff and everything, you have to be ready for that as well. So I made a talk at Checkout Summit in Palermo about how to be discoverable in bots and agents and stuff. So that's something we are pushing our efforts towards as well, because I mean, a lot of people are not reading the blogs anymore. So you have to be found, in those conversations with the bots. So we are doing a lot of efforts on that as well.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's an interesting one. It's I will say a little bit of a moving target, honestly. I have the privilege of working with a couple different types of companies and organizations, and the publishers, the people who are writing content in the world right now, they are not happy about the way everything is going, including the way bots are scraping their website. There's like really interesting initiatives. Cloudflare kind of seems to really be pushing more and more for bots to be more responsible about the content that they are benefiting from. I think that's the right mentality, but I don't know if we're ever going to solve this really well. But like the difference between a discoverability bot or like a search-oriented bot versus a bot that is intended only for it to gain knowledge and to repurpose that knowledge for its own benefit. I think that distinguishment nowadays is really interesting and important. But even Google doesn't like playing along those rules right now. This is a whole subject we could go deep into as well, I think, but it's just going into discoverability issues. So
one of the things we haven't talked about that used to be the way that most WordPress plugins worked is donation-based free plugins. I know, as somebody who had 40 plugins on the repo, I got maybe $50 over 6 years, but I figured I'd bring it up again. I do support people on GitHub who produce packages that we use at GravityKit. We subscribe to sponsor them. Patreon is a thing. I'd love to hear what y'all think about about that? Just like, is that just completely a non-starter, dead path to any money?
I wish it was, as somebody who built the donation plugin, I wish everybody was doing donations more and more and more. Like, I will say, I think it was about 2 years ago, I actually gave a donation to a software developer that I hadn't given to before. I realized I had been using Notepad++ for 16 years.
Wow.
And they have a whole thing in their UI about donations and whatnot. And I was like, I've been using this thing for free probably almost every single day. And this guy needs a donation. And I think I gave him a whole whopping like $50 or something like that.
Right.
And in my mind, I thought I was being really generous. But like for most of our products that we have all the time, they should be like $100 a year. So I owed this guy $1,600 probably, and I gave him 50. I just think it just shows that the donation model for software just kind of doesn't work as far as I can tell.
Yeah, that's interesting. We talk about donations. I have a little story to share, if you don't mind. So it's a bit sad. Well, it's actually very sad. Sorry about that. But a couple of years ago, there were a fire and some kids at school where my son was actually died. So everyone was shocked, and everyone wanted to be part of something to help the mother. So I don't know, my instinct asked me to do something, and I built a website for her to try to get some donations. So I built a plugin, and we raised quite a lot of money for her, which was very cool. And she told me after that, you should use that system for others as well. And I said, why not? And I put that plugin on Code Canyon at the time, and it was called WP Donations, and it became super successful. Like I've made 2 years of income with that plugin. It was like, that was cool. So yeah, donations is something like depending on the country you live in, it can be like huge, like really huge. I mean, in the US, for instance, with the churches, the political thing, and you can do a ton of money with that. But when it comes to getting yourself some donations for a plugin or for a website that you do, it's another story. We didn't even try to do that for Milo. I've built a website in France to help people know about their rights, because in France, you can get a lot of facilities from the government, but you don't know when, you don't know what you can get. So I built a website for that. Which is really cool. But I don't get any donation, maybe like $15 or something. So donations is quite tricky to get.
Yeah.
One model that I've seen people do and is have Kickstarter style unlocking of new functionality. And that is something that I think is a really neat way to on-ramp a free plugin to a paid plugin. But also, you could theoretically leave it free and just have people pay and donate until it reaches a certain amount of money, which I think is a really neat way to do it, especially nowadays with AI build-outs. Like, okay, you want this feature, it's not built yet, but like if 3 people vote on it, or like 3 people say if it were released, I would pay $20 for it. That might be a way to kind of guide AI-based development in the future, is just have a voting board and have enough people commit their money to it, and then AI will automatically build it, that type of thing.
That's a good idea for a new plugin. But at the same time, you see Wikipedia is like struggling to get some donation as well. So it's quite hard. I think that stating that you could improve your business or your company or model or whatever with donations, I guess it's the wrong strategy.
So far, it seems like it. I mean, even on GitHub, you can set any of your repos to be available for sponsorship. That's another route if you wanted to do it there. I don't recall, as far as I remember, any serious or significant GitHub repos that have tons of sponsorships of it. I don't know. Maybe there are stories of that working. But it just, to me, it just goes to the whole thing of like, it's not new that people have considered code a commodity. It's not a new thing. Like, folks have considered code a commodity for a very, very, very long time. It's just that it's been like so extremely commoditized with AI now, that we're just talking about it more than we used to. Yeah.
How do we feel about AI? Like, how interested are we in getting the AI purchasing connections that some like having agentic commerce? Is that something that we're trying to chase down?
Is that one directly connected here? How
Not really, but just like okay, so we had I rescind my question, but that's
No,
something that
no.
I've been thinking about. And when AI is commoditizing all our stuff, discoverability getting found, that's how I came to the question.
Yeah.
But
No, it's
yeah,
interesting. I mean, as soon as bots can buy stuff on behalf of other people, I want to figure out how to trick bots,
exactly. Well, and Cloudflare is doing the microtransaction thing where there's some HTTP spec or something like that gives a cent or something like that every time somebody scrapes your page.
Yeah.
But that doesn't scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, agentic commerce is a big one, and it would deserve its own podcast, I guess, because there's so much to say about it.
Yeah.
A couple of months or years ago, I met Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and we talked about that because at the time I was still at WoW, and that was the early stages of agentic commerce. But I think they have big hopes for that. But the thing is that they are like super connected to Shopify. And I know that WordPress is and Automatic are trying to do more. But the thing is that it's just a matter of partnerships for now. And it's really hard to enter that agentic commerce thing, because if you're not like one of the main player in the industry, they're just not even having a look at you. So quite hard.
Yep, for sure. Well, every episode we like to wrap up by talking about our best advice for folks who are considering this topic for themselves in one form or another. Remy, what is your best advice for folks who want to try to monetize their free plugin in new ways?
So what works the best, in my opinion, is getting an audience as wide as you can, because we've seen the change at WooCommerce when we switch from a license for the Stripe gateway, and when we switched to Woo Payments, which was free, and we were getting a percentage of the commission. That exploded, like literally. That changed everything. And if you talk to anyone in the WooCommerce team at the moment, they will tell you that was the big change. So the more you can provide for free and make everyone happy, the better it is for your business model. But it doesn't apply to every business. That's the problem. So we found something very cool because it works for us. But in all cases, if you want to go free, you have to have like the wider audience as possible. But the problem is how you get that audience. So migration is one of the key factors. So that's why we decided to have many migration systems, because in that case you can be talking to the users who are already using a similar system. So you can say, hey, we're here and we have a better product and it's seamless to come to us. So that's something you can do. And of course you can go even wider and say, okay, I'm going to try to acquire like free plugins with a lot of users on .org, trying to convert those users to users of my system. There's a ton of ways to do that, but the main goal is to try to be as attractive as possible.
Love it. Zach, best advice.
My best advice is to figure out your costs and how long you can be free while you're trying to build that audience. Because you need to make money to build and work on this project. Unless it's a pure side project, then that's fine. But know how the money will come to you, how long it will take, make estimates, and don't just blindly go into any pricing structure without understanding what it means for your business.
Yep, 100%.
Totally.
How about you, Matt?
My best advice, and any of my clients won't be surprised at this at all. My best advice is talk to your customers as much as you possibly can, because most likely, if you're considering this, you're probably shipping new product in one way or another. And what you need to do is talk to them about what is it that they would want from you in one form or another that would drive adoption. Like, is this a problem that I could solve for you? Yes or no? Is it something that you would appreciate using for free that maybe had a fee on top of it? If they're like, no, I'd really much rather just pay you $200 a year and not pay the fee, that would be really interesting information to have. I mean, truthfully, at Give, that was a bit of the balance we are trying to carve all the time. The extra fees, the 2% on top that we were charging, were only in the free plugin. The minute you bought something from us, the fees went away. But we were able to do that because we also had revenue share on the back end. And what was great for us on that front was that so many of the fundraising platforms out there, even today, that their model is that they charge based on fees on the donations. And the problem with that is that you make $10,000 in a month, the amount you pay for your donation platform is a lot larger. You get 100,000 in donations, and the fees that you start paying are really exponential. It's really huge. But if you are paying GiveWP, it's basically a flat rate. You're just going to pay like roughly $240 a year is what most of our customers were paying. And you can make 100,000 that year. You can make $1 million that year, and you're still paying the same amount. So it depended a lot on the type of customer that we were talking with, whether or not that model made sense to them or not. So talk to your customers. That's the best way to understand whether or not this model is going to work for you or not.
And listen to our prior episodes on value-based pricing, wpproducttalk.com.
Yes, absolutely. And this has been great. Rémi, tell the world where they can find you online.
So I have my own blog. It's been there for years and years, RémiCorson.com. I have MiloSubscriptions.com website as well. And on Twitter, that's the only way to contact me, because otherwise we have too many emails to answer,
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a good SEO product plugin, you know where to go as well.
Nice. Love it. Thanks
All
again
right,
to Freemius for everything that they do. And next week, we are going to have Blake Whittle with us. He's going to be talking about what agency owners need to know before buying a plugin. Blake has a really unique perspective on that. And all of us watching who are plugin folks, we get to kind of like think about it a little bit backwards and be like, how can we make our plugins great for agencies to say yes to? So looking forward to that. Thanks, everybody. Have a good one. We will see you next time. Bye.
Thanks, Rémi. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.